And I am thrilled beyond belief that he was able to do that, and I'm imagining now the explanations he's giving. I wouldn't
want to be him when he finally unlocks the door and there's those 4 or 5 guys outside saying, "Who were you talking to, and what language was that?"
Exactly. That's the beauty of this.
But it came out of his heart. I'm kind of wondering, why did I ask the man to turn around and pray for Mother Earth in his Starbucks bathroom? I just know his heart. And to me, it doesn't matter where he's at. And he's just like you, Bear. I guess we're all the same family, and it doesn't matter where you are. If your heart, your spirit is where it's supposed to be, you can have a prayer from Starbucks bathroom with 4 guys banging on the door.
Yes, you can, and I think it's a very powerful one. People like him are what gives me faith, as well as us. But knowing that people like him are getting involved in this, in the Gulf situation, the Gulf tragedy. I personally have started calling it the eugenics operation. It's just another arm of the eugenics operation.
Sure, it's part of a little shadow government group, whatever government spirit, or shadow spirit, my term. It's just part of, like you said, the eugenics. It's this world that. How do I put this? It's that part of this world that even this world doesn't want to have to believe.
That's right, and when and it's something I wanted to get into eventually, and it has to do with, I hear a lot of people, and I myself was asking that question at first, of why the world doesn't seem to be waking up to the tragedy that's happening down there. And because there are some very powerful people working to bring this truth out, as well as the disinfo agents that are in there. But to me, the reason why people aren't waking up to this is because this just shows how inured they are to their television sets and the mind control that's in there, and the things like the fluoride that make people passive. It's a combination, it's a cocktail of all these things. But that isn't enough to stop me. It isn't enough to stop you or people like Deborah, people like Brother Phil, and Lynn that are working so hard to get these truths out. It doesn't matter to us that people are asleep. We're still going to keep screaming it from the rooftops what's going on. Because just the fact that there's a man alive on this planet who will go to those lengths, he could have very easily have gotten a hold of us later, told us he was stuck in traffic and blah, 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 and it would have been totally fine. But he didn't. He took that extra step, and that shows his impeccability.
And he's on his way to a really very important in Native American Indigenous meeting at this point, and I feel honored. I really do. I know you do too, Bear. We're the same. I feel really honored. I know it seems so funny that it's in the Starbucks bathroom, but he got a signal and he honored us, and that counts. He honored
exactly.
that. How many people, even if you're on a cell phone in a bathroom, that somebody says, "Please pray for Mother Earth," would even consider that. I mean, these were some really odd circumstances, and yet everything really happened the way it was supposed to. So this might be the most unique radio program on Blog Talk Radio anybody has ever heard. But boy, we just set a new precedence.
Yes, we did, and he did, and that's what we're going to continue with your show that you have on tomorrow. I know that you have a large European listening group there. And that's what it's going to take, and that's what we've got here, and that's why it's happened in the way it's happened. Why I'm restarting up today. I'm leaving one network and coming to your network because of what you stand for, and that's something that I do want to make very, very clear. Is what the efforts that you put out are phenomenal, and that's another reason why I love you. I see your dedication to this. You're not somebody that's out trying to take advantage of others. You're somebody that's giving advantage to others, and that's the big difference. And that's why this is such a beautiful thing.
No ads.
Well, yeah.
We're doing this just. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're here with really, to me, this is the real kickoff of Living Light Network. I only changed the name 2 weeks ago. Before you even said that you'd be back on, because I knew you'd be here. That's how Spirit works, Bear.
It is, and
well, I'm kind of speechless because it's like I tried to explain in the first hour. I knew this was coming in November, and I know how this is going to grow with others coming in as well. Deborah has even said that, in case anybody wonders who Deborah is, Deborah Dupre, human rights reporter. Check her on examiner.com. A lady who grew up in Louisiana in the bayous and has seen from day one oil hell. If you think the Gulf of Mexico is something now, this is a lady you have to read her articles. She grew up in the refinery hell and the bayous catching on fire, which were set on fire and things like that. No, this is what it's growing into, Bear, and it just doesn't have to do with the Gulf. It has to do with what we were both saying in different terminology and in different ways so far during this entire broadcast. Was we are on the turning point right now of a new spiritual awareness, and there are going to be earth changes. There are going to be a lot of changes in everything, and that's what people just have to be prepared for. The old way is not going to work any longer. The shadows taking advantage of you and me and everybody else. The shadow spirits that are there to be gods, which is exactly what they're doing. They're imitating to be gods. Their time is over. That's where we're at right now.
Absolutely. They can't exist in what's coming, and that's why it seems like they're in their death throes right now, because they can't exist in these new frequencies that are coming at us, that are coming from the core of the sun, the core of our galaxy, and ultimately from the core of our universe. It just can't make it through, and they know that. They've had their time, and their time is over, and now we know who we're not, and now we're moving into who we are. What's going to happen to them? I used to be concerned with that, and I'm not concerned with it any longer. What I'm concerned with is getting through these frequency changes as strong as we possibly can, and helping as many people get through it as possible. I know that the things in the Gulf are horrible. I also know that these things will change. This was their last best attempt to take over the world, and to damage the world beyond belief because of where they come from, because of what they are. And again, that won't even make it. And the things that are happening, I really feel that over the next 2 years or so, we're going to be able to heal in ways that we're not aware of right now, today. As our powers are restored to us, as our abilities are restored to us in full, where we won't need an internet, where we are the internet, where we won't need a phone to call somebody. We'll just talk to them in our minds, in our hearts.
the internet imitates the internet and even, you know, texting and all this new age. I mean, just look in the past 10 years, just wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that imitates what we, according to written old manuscripts, and if you want to call it Christian white scriptures or whatever, all the old written things that are even recently being found, all say the same thing: is that spirit that I call living light ability within us that was inherent in us before we were born in this world, where we came from. That living light spirit, pick your own name, creation, ability, whatever. Going straight back to where we come from, to first creator, first nation, as some of the indigenous people say around the world. We are at this new point of healing spiritually. This is where we are right now. This is not so much a physical. I'm just speaking out of my heart. So, you know, you don't have to agree there, but I'm sure you will.
But I do.
This is not so much of let's see the Oral Roberts types turn around and go lay hands on everybody. I see this as an unspoken spirit healing, not only for mankind but for the earth as well. This is something that mankind has not gone through before, and we are beginning it right now.
Yes.